Do not rebrand until you unlearn this one thing, the belief that a new look will somehow change who you are. And I mean this beyond just business or personal branding. I'm talking about life. Too many people think, if I just change the packaging, people will see me differently. So they chase the new logo, the fresh slogan, the stylish colors, the reintroduction of themselves. But here's the problem. If nothing on the inside has shifted, then everything on the outside is just noise. A new coat of paint on a broken wall still covers cracks. It doesn't heal them. And eventually, those cracks show again. You can't hide insecurity behind aesthetics. You can't cover doubt with clever words. You can't mask a lack of direction with a polished appearance. And if you try, you'll spend your whole life exhausted, running from rebrand to rebrand, thinking the next version of you will finally feel whole. But let me tell you the truth, if the foundation is cracked, it does not matter how many times you remodel the house. You'll keep coming back to the same problems until you face them at the root. The one thing you must unlearn is this, the belief that the outside fixes the inside. It doesn't. Never has. Never will. Real change doesn't start with a font, a tagline, or a style. It starts with the story you tell yourself when no one else is watching. It starts with your conviction. It starts with belief. Belief builds a brand. Belief builds identity. And if you don't believe in who you are, if you don't believe in your mission, then no audience will. They'll sense it. People always sense it. Think about it. Have you ever met someone who spoke with confidence, not because they were the loudest, not because they had the fanciest words, but because they carried clarity? You trusted them, didn't you? You leaned in, even if you didn't know why. That's because authenticity has a frequency. You can't fake it. And that's why people who chase surface level changes rarely see real results. They're broadcasting on the wrong channel. They're trying to tune in with signals of approval and applause when the real frequency that connects is belief. So before you think about changing your brand, ask yourself, what's the one fear, the one doubt, the one insecurity that keeps pulling you toward a new coat of paint instead of fixing the structure underneath? Because here's the hard part. Most of us already know what it is. We just don't want to face it. Maybe it's the fear that you're not enough. Maybe it's the belief that people won't take you seriously unless you look perfect. Maybe it's the doubt that if they saw the real you, they'd walk away. That's what you have to unlearn. That's the thing that keeps you trapped in cycles of reinvention without transformation. And transformation is what people connect to. It's what inspires them. No one gets moved by your logo. They get moved by your truth. They get moved when you step into a room and carry yourself like you know who you are, regardless of how anyone else labels you. That's when people lean in. That's when they say, I don't know what it is about them, but I want to follow. And that can't be designed. That has to be lived. So here's my challenge to you. Stop obsessing over the new look and start facing the old lies. Stop asking how you can reintroduce yourself to the world and start asking how you can reintroduce yourself to you. Because when you finally deal with the fear, the doubt, the insecurity, then every brand you touch, personal, professional, or otherwise, will carry weight. It will carry trust. It will carry you. And when the inside is aligned, the outside becomes effortless. You won't have to chase approval. You won't have to force people to pay attention. You won't have to keep reinventing yourself every 6 months because you'll finally feel rooted. And rooted people don't need rebrands. They create movements. So unlearn the idea that a rebrand will fix you. Do the work inside. Build the foundation. And only then, when the cracks are healed, will any new design, any new look, any new version of you actually mean something. Let me give it to you straight. People don't connect to your brand because of your logo. They don't connect because of your font, your colors, or the clever tagline you came up with at 2 a.m. They connect because of your truth. They connect because of the conviction you carry. And here's where so many people get it wrong. They keep thinking, if I just make it look better, if I just polish it a little more, people will finally respect me. They'll finally notice me. They'll finally approve of me. But deep down, that's not a branding problem. That's a belief problem. That's a need for validation masquerading as strategy. And until you unlearn that, you'll keep repeating the same cycle over and over again. Here's the thing about validation. It's addictive. Every time someone likes your post, compliments your work, or praises your effort, it feels good. It feels like fuel. But what happens when the likes don't come in? What happens when the applause stops? Suddenly you feel empty again. You start questioning everything. And then to fill that emptiness, you start thinking maybe the solution is a rebrand, a fresh start, a new look. But that's not a fresh start. That's a temporary distraction. It's like changing outfits because you don't like the person in the mirror. It doesn't fix the problem. It just delays it. You have to unlearn the need for validation before you even think about rebranding. Because if you don't, every decision you make will be shaped by what you think people want to see instead of who you actually are. And here's the truth. People don't buy design, they buy conviction. They don't stay for style, they stay for story. They don't commit to polish, they commit to purpose. And when your purpose is hidden under layers of insecurity and people pleasing your brand, no matter how shiny, will feel hollow. Think about the people you admire most. The ones who inspire you, the ones who leave an impression on you. Was it because they had the best graphics, the most cutting-edge look, the most modern presentation? Probably not. It's because they owned their truth. They weren't bending for every wave of opinion. They stood rooted in who they were, and that energy pulled you in. That's what real branding is. Not the way it looks, but the way it feels. Now, I know it's hard. We live in a world that measures worth in likes, shares, and followers. Everywhere you look, there's a scoreboard. And it feels like if you're not winning on that scoreboard, you're failing. But that's not true. The scoreboard isn't the measure of your value. It's the measure of your reach in that moment. And reach can change overnight. But if your worth is tied to it, then every dip in attention will feel like a personal collapse. And that's why so many people burn out. That's why they keep rebranding. They're trying to fix self-worth by fixing their cover image. And it doesn't work. So here's the question, why are you really rebranding? Is it because you have clarity about a new direction, or is it because you're scared the old one isn't good enough? Is it because you want to express growth, or is it because you're chasing applause? If the answer is fear, wait. If the answer is clarity, go. But you've got to be honest with yourself. You've got to stop lying about why you're making the moves you're making. Because when you move out of fear, the result will always feel forced. But when you move out of clarity, even if the design isn't perfect, the message will resonate. And resonance is everything. People don't remember the details of your brand. They remember how you made them feel. They remember the conviction in your words, the confidence in your story, the strength in your presence. That's what builds loyalty. That's what creates movements. That's what keeps people coming back. And no graphic design tool can create that for you. It has to come from within. So if you're thinking about a rebrand right now, I want you to pause. Not forever, just long enough to ask yourself, have I unlearned my need for applause? Have I separated my identity from people's opinions? Do I trust myself enough to stand firm even if no one claps? Because if you can answer yes, then your rebrand will be powerful because it will be built on truth. But if you can't answer yes, then any rebrand you launch will feel like a mask. And masks always slip eventually. This is not about style. This is about substance. It's about doing the hard work on the inside so the outside finally matches. It's about trusting yourself enough to know that your value doesn't rise and fall with people's attention spans. And when you finally unlearn the need for validation, you'll stop chasing applause and start carrying authority. And that's when your brand, your work, your life will finally have the weight it was meant to carry. Because people don't stay for how good you look. They stay for how real you are.